The British Border Boxing Control have given us 3 early Christmas gifts, but it remains to be seen whether those Christmas gifts will be delivered by Santa. Right, we'll find out on December 13th, because that's when purse bids will be called, and hopefully by then we'll know whether these 3 fights are going to happen. The other 2 fights I've already talked about I'm going to talk about in other videos if I haven't uploaded them already. The other 2 fights are Hughie Fury versus Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois versus Nathan Gorman. But this particular fight is Callum Johnson, British light heavyweight champion, being ordered to defend his title against Joshua Buatsi. Johnson 17-1 with 12 KOs, 33 years of age. Joshua Buatsi, much younger man, 25, 8-0 with 6 KOs. Callum Johnson, 5'11.5", 73-inch reach. Joshua Buatsi listed here at 6'2", and I do believe he is around that. He's at least 6 feet tall. I've seen him in person. He's at least 6 feet, maybe a bit taller than that. I'm telling you, he's tall. Joshua Buatsi impressing people of late. His last 2 performances, he's put his foot on the gas from the opening bell. He got Tony Avalan out of there sharpish. Avalan was obviously a previous opponent of Anthony Yarde, and well, let's not go there. So, what do you guys think of this? Will it happen? Will Callum Johnson vacate, or will he take on Joshua Buatsi in a pretty big domestic showdown? Will Joshua Buatsi's people want to put him in with Callum Johnson so early in his career? That's a big risk. Callum Johnson is a far more experienced fighter. And he had a lot of amateur fights too, Callum Johnson. He wasn't just somebody who, wasn't experienced as an amateur, but maybe had a few pro fights. No, he was experienced as an amateur, and he's a lot more experienced than Buatsi as a pro. And even though he lost against Artur Beterbiev, I think he will gain quite a lot of confidence from the performance he put in against Beterbiev, dropping the guy. So, yeah, interesting. I wouldn't put my house on this fight taking place, to be honest with you. I certainly hope it does, but I wouldn't put my house on it. And look, if Callum Johnson decides to vacate, you can't really blame him, because he's looking for another world title shot. He's looking for maybe another world level fight, and then to get a shot at one of the other light heavyweight champions. You couldn't blame him for that, in my opinion, because he is, in terms of the company he's keeping, he is above Joshua Buatsi right now. In terms of where he's at in ranking and the kind of fighters and the circles that he's moving amongst, he's above Buatsi. I'm not saying he's necessarily a better fighter than Buatsi, but I'm just saying where his career is at, he's above Buatsi, okay? And so I couldn't blame him for vacating and shaking off that, what he might think of as dead weight. I'm sure he loves having the British title and sees it as prestigious and all that kind of stuff, but in terms of being tied down to the British Border Boxing Control obligations, he might see that as dead weight, and probably has his ambitions set higher on world title aspirations. So we'll see. I certainly won't be on his case if he decides to vacate. But will Buatsi go ahead with it? Let's say Johnson don't vacate and Johnson says, you know what, for whatever reason, I want this fight against Buatsi. Will Buatsi's people be keen on taking it? As with the other fights I'll be talking about today, the 2 teams have to come to an agreement by noon on Wednesday, December 12th. If they don't, it goes to purse bids on that date, and the fight has to take place by the end of March 2019. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Will this fight take place? And if it does, who wins? Does Buatsi get the win? You see, that's the big issue here. If Buatsi loses to Johnson, Buatsi can come back. He's only 25 years old, and people will say, well, he stepped up too fast too soon. He can come back. If Johnson was to lose to Buatsi, it would be a much more damaging loss. He's just been up at world level. Coming back down to domestic level, if he was to lose the domestic level, that's 2 losses on the bounce. Not a good look for a 33-year-old fighter to lose to a guy who's only 8-0, you know? So there's a lot more risk in it, in my opinion, for Callum Johnson than there is for Joshua Buatsi. Buatsi could come again if he was to lose with a reasonable, I don't want to say reasonable excuse, but a decent reason. You know, it would be a forgivable loss, a forgivable scenario for an 8-0 guy to go in there against someone who's had more than double the number of fights and who's been mixing it at world level. You know, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if Buatsi lost it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.